What's up, guys? Today I'm going to start rebuilding a 125cc Chinese ATV. This is actually it. I was doing this one, but I ordered the wrong wiring harness, so I guess I'm forced to take a break from doing that one until the wiring harness comes in next week or in like 3 days. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start this one. I'm going to start tearing it down so I can get all the plastics and everything washed really well, and I'll go from there. I'm going to get it put over here in front of me where I always do all my builds, and I'll be right back. All right, so this one's a 125cc. I'm pretty excited about doing it. It has a drive, a neutral, and a reverse. It's all on this side. But the cool thing about the ones that are 125 and bigger is that they bring more money. The bad news is typically I find more stuff wrong with them because people, I mean, it's not like a kid's quad. Well, I guess like a mid-sized kid's quad, but also adults ride them and they ride the shit out of them. So I'm going to go ahead and get the plastics tore off. I did notice that there's a little spot of oil over there in the corner where this was stored. So I'm guessing this is leaking oil. Hopefully it's nothing too major or too expensive to fix. But I'm going to redo all the electrical. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to link everything in the description. I have step-by-step videos on everything on my YouTube channel. Anything from step-by-step on how to do electrical, 125 and under, and even 150 and above. How to paint plastics and make it last. How to paint your wheels and make it last. Yeah, pretty much everything you need to know. Carbs, or how to install a carb, new throttles, pretty much everything you need to know. God damn it. It's not what I want to see. I think that's to the brakes. If you still have the starter on here, you do want to keep the starter wire because it doesn't come with the harness doesn't come with the new starter wire. Yeah, this thing's super dirty. I cannot wait to wash it. Alright, so I'm at the car wash. About to pull this down and power wash it. I just want to show you how grimy it is right now. It's not in bad shape, it's just dirty as shit, and obviously the guy never washed it. It looked like there was an oil leak, but it's actually not an oil leak. That's actually from the gas leak, and it has old gas in it. It's discolored. Anyways, it looks like shit. I already mounted the starter back on to make sure that's water doesn't get into there, and I'm gonna plug the carb. I should just do an old carb on it. Anyways, I'm gonna plug it all. I'll be right back. Alright, so I just got back from the car wash. This thing was caked in dirt. It's still not the cleanest, but it's a lot cleaner than what it was. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is remove this gear shifter. It's just a screw on the bottom. I'm going to pull it off and then open the stator cover. It's just a few bolts going all the way around. I'm going to replace the stator. Before you go and buy a wiring harness, a complete wiring harness for your Chinese ATV, the first thing you want to do is open this. Make sure, if it's a 125 and under, it's either going to be a 2-coil or a 6-coil. It's either going to be a 2-coil. This is a 2-coil. Hope that makes sense. See how it's 2 coil? Oh, here. Already opened this one. This is a 2-coil. It just has 2 coils going around. The 6-coil is going to have just 6 smaller coils. But you need to know what this is before you go and order your wiring harness. So you have to take off the shifter on any quad that isn't just standard automatic or just regular automatic in order to get to your stator cover. This one's a 2-coil stator. But also, while you have this off, go ahead and clean the inside out. I usually just spray it out with air. This thing's pretty oily, if I'm being honest. But I know the guy that owned this lived on a farm. Okay, so now that I have this all sprayed down, I'm kind of cleaned up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this stator from the stator cover, and it's literally just 2 8mm bolts right here, an 8mm bolt right here, and then two Phillips screws, and this thing should pop right out. You know what? I don't think you need to remove those 2 Phillips screws. It's only 2 8mm bolts right here and 2 right here. But I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my new stator in. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cover back on. Put it on the same way you took it off. Fairly simple. It's just 2 10mm bolts. If you have ratchet wrenches, I definitely recommend using those at this point. There's 2 on the intake and then 2 on the carb itself. But I always break everything loose while it's still on. The quad, it just makes it easier to take apart when you have it all. This is probably one of the dirtiest quads I've worked on. I spent more at the car wash than I usually do, and it's still not super clean if I'm being honest. This gas is so old and discolored. Okay, so I have the new carb ready to put on. It's already on the intake, but since I'm replacing the carb, but I want to make sure this quad lasts whoever buys it a long time. I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the fuel lines and change those out, since it's literally like $2 to do it. By the way, all this stuff that I'm doing, the carb, the intake, the carb, the wiring harness, all this stuff, I have step-by-step videos on how to do it all. It's actually fairly simple. This quad sat for a couple years before I got it. That's why I'm changing all this stuff. And as long as it has compression, I won't have to mess with the engine at all. Besides changing the oil, of course. I don't like working on dirty quads and or dirty stuff. This quad was so dirty, I probably should have power washed it again. But I already spent like $8 at the car wash, and I wasn't trying to spend any more. Okay, new carbs on. What do you do next? I'm gonna go ahead and run the fuel lines. And I definitely recommend these band clamps. These things are amazing. By the way, everything I use on these builds, I'm gonna link in the description. I link them in the description on all my videos. So it saves you guys some time. If you use the link, it supports the channel. If you don't, fuck off. No, I'm just kidding. But it does support the channel if you use the links. This one has a petcock already located on the fuel tank, so I'm gonna leave it on. Usually I don't leave the petcocks on. This one I'm going to for that specific reason. Put the fuel filter on. Don't ever forget your fuel filter, because you will regret that. And to be honest, the only reason I'm even working on this one right now is because I have another one that I'm almost done with, but I ordered the wrong wiring harness. Some wiring harnesses come with 2 headlights, and others come with 1. The one that I have over there needs 1 headlight, but I ordered it for 2, and I want everything to work on these quads when I sell them. So that's really the only reason I'm even working on this one. Okay, so all the fuel lines are installed, the new carb is installed. The only thing left to do is tune the carb after I have this thing running, but that'll be a little bit later. Next thing I'm gonna do is the electrical. And if you don't know how to wire one of these, I have a step-by-step video on how to wire one. But for the time being, since this is just the complete build, well, if you want to see the video, look at my channel. I have how to wire a 110 and under, or 125 and under, and then how to wire a 150 and up. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and install everything, lay it over this, and then I'm gonna start troubleshooting on how to get the fire. Okay, and in my other videos, I've actually said it before, and on my step-by-step on how to wire one of these, I always say just put everything together off the quad and then set it on the quad, and then start setting everything kind of near the place you want it. Then you can check for compression and spark and all that stuff before you actually tidy everything down. Also, I use a couple of zip ties and just hang this in place, but not super tight, like a little snug so it doesn't move, but also not real tight, so I'm able to slide it back and forth if I need to, but also so it's out of the way. So I don't know why, but that old this is actually the new stator I just put on. I couldn't get spark with it, so I wired in the old one to see if I could get spark, and now I got a ton of spark, like really good spark. So I think that brand new stator is bad, and when I look at it, let me see if I can focus it on it. Okay, you see this end? There's a loose piece of the coil. So I don't know if that's the reason why this coil's bad, but or I mean the stator's bad. But anyways, I wired the old stator back in, got plenty of spark. I'm gonna put this back in and see if I can get it to fire. I'm gonna put the spark plug in. You know what? While I have the spark plug out, I'm gonna go ahead and check for compression. Okay, well, I didn't have it focused. I still had it focused clear in there when I did it, but I actually just checked for compression. It has pretty decent compression. About the battery sounds like it's going a little low, but it still had over 100 pounds of compression. And plenty of spark, so I'm gonna get the wiring harness all tidied up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the wiring harness all tidied up now, just pretty much zip tied in place. I'm just removing all the excess zip ties, excess from the zip ties, and I'm in a pretty good spot right now. Okay, so I'm back on this 125. I just finished that one, thank God. Lifts over there, garage is a mess. But the battery that I have is dead. It's not bad, it's just dead. But I'm gonna check for spark now. I know for a fact it has spark, but I just want to show it on the video. Actually has really good spark. Now I'm gonna check for compression. So I have my compression tester hooked up. Make sure you open the throttle all the way. Let me focus it on that. So that says 130. Just a minute ago I did it, it had about 160. But either way, I just wanted to show that it had compression, and it's holding compression. So I have good compression. Next thing I'm gonna do for this quad, this is 125 by the way, but I'm gonna paint the bottom of these plastics black just so it looks better. I'm gonna end up painting the rims on it also. But I just removed the ignition switch, and I'm gonna remove everything else, the headlights, this black plastic that doesn't need painted. and I'm gonna get it all taped up. I'll be right back. All right, so I have the plastics all taped up and outside. Everything else is laid out, ready to be painted. Okay, so everything is completely painted. Now it's just a hurry up and wait game. We'll put it all back together tomorrow. Okay, so I just tested compression again with the full battery on it. 175. That is a lot of compression. That's really good though. Okay, so I got the 125 up on jack stand. I'm gonna put the spark plug in and give it a quick test fire. Key on, brakes bypassed. Guess it doesn't matter, slipped it up in there anyways. I guess it does matter. But at least we got the fire up. That makes me pretty happy. Well, I guess it's a neutral, so it doesn't matter. So I finally got this idling correctly where it starts every try. Well, oh there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tidy up the wiring harness. I need to take this back to the car wash. I already power washed it once, but I'm telling you this thing was caked in dust. But I need to take this back, and I also want to take those wheels back, so I might not be able to finish this until next week, maybe. Man, I want to get this done, but anyways, everything's already painted, but I do want to get this thing put back together. You know what? I'm gonna run this to the car wash real quick. I'm gonna take those wheels off. Just let that sit on the axle on the ground. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I hadn't quite painted the wheels yet, but I decided to post this on Facebook Marketplace last night and just to see if I got any hits off it. And it's actually got a lot of attention. I think it's because it has forward, neutral, and reverse. But I posted it for 700. I got probably like 10 messages today about it. The only thing I have left to do is put this hardware in. I'm not going to worry about painting the rims. If the guy wants me to paint the rims, I will. But my goal right now is just to get the hardware finished before he gets here. And it's only only 12 pieces of hardware, so it shouldn't take too long. But anyways, I'm gonna do that real quick. I'll be right back. All right, so I just finished this one, and I just had the guy come pick it up. Let me remind you guys, I only paid $150 for this thing. I probably got about 7 hours worth of work into it, and I just sold it for about $600. So I definitely got my money out of this one. Let's put a new battery in it so I can take it for a test drive.